Maybe taking a deeper than normal breath, allowing the body to fully exhale long. Noticing just what you had to organize and arrange to be here today, and acknowledging yourself for making that choice. I'm sure there's plenty of things that you could be doing right now, but you chose to be sitting here with all of us. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining. And just acknowledging what it feels like for you to give yourself this space to notice your experience. And then just noticing as you arrive, just becoming aware of this body that's here, this body that's carrying you. Just acknowledging it for bringing you here. So your body is already here. So just allowing for space for the mind to catch up. Perhaps bringing your attention to the sensation of the body in contact with the surface holding you. The temperature of the body. And just seeing if you can just allow the body to gently, just really gently sink into the surface, fully supported, fully held. Just allowing the pull of gravity that's keeping you here in place. Letting the earth nurture you, cradle you in this moment. It is always holding you. Perhaps noticing the rising on the in-breath, how the body rises, and the falling on the out-breath. Becoming aware of this breath flowing in the body. The breath in and the breath out. There's nothing that you need to do, but just being with your breath in this moment. And if you can just allow the breath to flow normally, however it might be at this moment. And noticing this part of you that might be aware of the breath at this moment. The gentle observer. And noticing the sensation of the breath in this body as it goes into the body and it leaves the world. and it lifts and goes out into the world. Noticing a sensation perhaps at the nose or the nostrils. And the breath traveling all over the body, oxygenating the body. And whenever you notice distraction, mind wandering, just bringing your attention right back to this moment, this breath, this body. Noticing your experience, just like you would notice a gentle river flowing, observing it. Noticing how this river just flows, just like your experience just flows. And the river might carry many leaves from branches, from trees, just like the mind carries many thoughts. And they all just pass, they all just flow. Perhaps noticing the thinking mind. And as thoughts come in, just allowing them to flow, just like the leaves in the river. And every thought can be a leaf that makes contact with the water and it floats away. And some of these thoughts might feel more like branches falling in the river, but the river knows to just carry them, let them go. It doesn't hold on to them, just allows them to flow right through, knowing that it can hold it all. Just noticing this process, allowing all these thoughts to just flow just like the leaves, just like the branches in the river. And the water can be this vast awareness that notices the leaves falling and the branches, makes contact with them, and then lets them go. And then there's this breath that brings life, that is always here. A place you can always come back to. As you notice some thoughts maybe floating away here, just like the leaves floating in the river, you might notice the quality of these leaves. Some might be dry and they just float away. And some might still be a little green and serve for the life in the river, nourishing. Noticing the quality, the nourishment that comes from some of these thoughts. And some of them are just unhelpful. They're not needed right now. They can float away in the river. And there's nothing that you need to do. If there is a need to create pleasant thoughts or a pleasant experience, seeing if you can just let go of that and just stay right here. Deep, deep discernment for what comes. Helpful and unhelpful, kind and unkind. There's no need to hold on to anything. Just noticing. Just like the river has no power over what falls on its surface, it just notices. Whatever is nourishing provides for more life in the river, and what is not just floats away as well. And there are currents in the depths of its water, currents that bring the river through. The river makes its way through many rocks, mountains. And in stormy days, these currents might become a little stronger. Sometimes it might even cause the river to overflow. Just like in your experience, there might be strong emotions that come. Sometimes might feel they're too much. But the river always knows that it will pass. The storms don't last forever. And it will eventually go to its gentle nature. If you're noticing right now the strong currents flowing at this moment in your life, learning from the river, we can know that they will pass. Sometimes it might seem like it's overflowing. Just knowing that in the depths of the water, there's always life. There's always this breath, a gentle anchor when something is going too fast. And no matter what happens externally, the river always knows that it is a gift to many. It is a gift to the plants and the trees around it. It is a gift to anyone that experiences the river in a gentle, sunny day. It always knows its worth. It always knows its strength. And this river has so much to teach us. Even in times of uncertainty, it always knows that it will be part of something much bigger. That eventually it might become part of a bigger river, the ocean, part of everything. It knows that it's connected to everything, that it's never alone. So I invite you now for the next few moments to really gently just come back to where you're sitting and where you're lying. Noticing what you've learned from this river today. Keeping your focus on your breath. Keeping your focus on this body for the next few moments. Now just gathering all your attention to just your breathing. Khalil Gibran, in his poem The River Cannot Go Back, says, "It is said that before entering the sea, the river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountains. The long winding road crosses forests and villages. And in front of it sees the ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there's no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it is not about disappearing into the ocean, but becoming the ocean. Mm. Whenever you're ready and at your own pace, just bringing your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Bringing your awareness to the palms of your hands, the muscles on your face, maybe stretching them a little bit, the jaw. Yeah, and from this place, just knowing what the body needs, if it needs any movement, and allowing your eyes to gently open. And as your eyes open, just becoming aware of your surroundings, just taking a look around, seeing what's around, and allowing for the scene to just settle into a nourishing place, whatever that might be for you. It could be a spot in the wall, it could be the lines that form the room, it could be a plant, and just resting right there at this moment. And noticing what nourishment feels like in your body. Whenever you're ready, just returning to our circle, our group, and just seeing everybody here, really seeing them. Taking a moment to be that loving presence that we all need for each other in this moment. with a deep knowledge of no matter how uncertain things might be, we got each other. Just bringing this little bit of nourishment that you found to everybody else here. And if you're at home and watching this on your own, maybe just bringing into mind somebody that you can send this nourishment to. Perhaps as you open your eyes, as you come back to your surroundings, perhaps there is a need to do something, to go to the next moment. So the invitation to just be here. To no move on to any other moments. And to just noticing the overall energy in the body right now at this moment. And seeing if this can inform everything for you. Knowing that this is possible. Knowing that stillness is within. The currents pass, the storms pass. The breath and the body, they're always here. And if when you notice the body, when you bring your attention to the body, you might notice maybe areas that are not pleasant. And that's okay. Just bringing kindness to that noticing. A sense of loving presence towards this body. So there's a line in this poem that really stays with me every time I read it. And it's that the river needs, there's a couple of lines actually, it's not just one. But he says the river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know. It is not disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. And I wanted to just kind of share with you what that means to me, and perhaps we can open it up to see what it means to others. In mindfulness, the invitation is always to look toward. In our society, the invitation is to look away. Oh, that's not helpful. Let me just push it. I'm not going to deal with that now. I got to focus on what's good. But all of that's still there. It keeps coming back, isn't it? It doesn't go away just because we ignore it. So the invitation to bring our attention to something that is unpleasant sometimes is tough, but it's courageous. And isn't that interesting? That noticing the fear can be courageous. That invitation to look towards what's unpleasant can build our confidence that we can do this. So if there is anything I could leave you with today, it would be that there is courage on that. and many times mostly when I work with teams or in sports, um, in, for instance, in a baseball team, the the players might be conditioned into pushing through. Let's not pay attention to that. Let's leave it for later. Let's just push through. And so when they're anxious about a game, they're stuffing that in. But throughout the game, that keeps coming up and jeopardizing their game, their play. And so the idea seems very, very odd, isn't it, to actually notice it? But there's courage in that. When the players are able to actually stay with that anticipation and fear that might rise up from being in this game and the stakes that means, all the investments that are on them, well, that courage is what allows them to perform better. The fact that they know that this is very, very hard, and there's nothing harder than feeling in the body something that is unpleasant. It's very scary. But there's courage in doing that. And by doing that repeatedly, they start learning that they are actually courageous. That if they can do that, they can do just about anything. So that's in the world of mindfulness. That is how we experience life. It takes a lot of courage to be here. Every one of you is courageous to look inward, to sit there with the discomfort. And it's not about suffering through it. It's about just noticing it. And then, with that acceptance of knowing what's here, we can take action, right? We can move on, we can do something. And just like in a game, a player might notice that there's a lot of anxiety about the game right before the game. But by sitting there just for a few moments and staying with that, noticing the thoughts, noticing how that feels in the body, there's a part of them that emerges that allows them to see how courageous they actually are. And there's confidence in that. So we perform better when we are aware. So, yeah. And again, whatever I share, take what you need, leave what you don't. Don't worry about what I have to say. It's important is your experience, how you're living your life. How are these teachings, these meditations really filtering into your life? Are you present for your life? So I thank you so much for being here and for your kind attention.